Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. Today's video is an upgrade command build video on the Tier 10 French premium light cruiser, the Colbert. Now, I've already actually done one of these on Colbert. The purpose of this one today is to feature the aggressive build, upgrade commander build on this ship. So I'll link the other traditional one, traditional build I would say for Colbert. Mileage may vary on that. At the end of this video, and I'll spend more time in that one. This one, my hope is maybe about 15 minutes, just short, concise. Here's the aggressive build, and not weighing out all the other options like I normally do. Though, granted, I might just end up just doing it because I do it in every upgrade command build video, but hopefully not. So it's the light cruiser, right? And we're talking about the Stav cruiser. She has an issue if you're trying, I mean, you can go for more of a range build, but I think that takes you like 15.8. Otherwise, your stock range you start off with is 13.8 kilometers. So that's already, with this build and playstyle with the commander, it's more of an aggressive build, an aggressive positioning. But you do get some decent armor, okay? You have 80 millimeter. Goes up to 50, and then you're coded in 21, then 16. Your deck plating is 16, so it's entirely possible to eat citadels through your deck plating. Now here they did something nice where you get a 50 millimeter deck on the stern of the ship here. So it does help you when you're kiting a little bit, if you will. Helps be more resilient to some HE spam as an example, but you know, again, it's just a very small area, and then you have 16 to the 21 to the 13 millimeter superstructure. So when possible, you really want to try to angle to be able to try to bounce some shots off of your armor belt on the side of the ship. And you can see your gun, 10 millimeter gun plating, okay? These guns get knocked out really easily, and we'll talk about a good upgrade to take in light of that. Other thing to make mention of, I'll just say it now, is this is not a concealed build. You're not building into any concealment on the commander or on the 5th slot on the upgrades. So your concealment is 12.1. Your gun range is 13.8. Okay, we saw this in the video I uploaded yesterday. I'll also put that at the end of this video so you can see this playstyle and build. And for those who's this type of playstyle, who's it for? I would say it's for cruiser commanders who are not afraid to get their hands dirty. Okay, like if you like playing Radar Minotaur, I could see you probably liking Colbert. If you like a little bit of that brawling atmosphere in cruisers, I could see you liking Colbert. But to me, I feel like Radar Minotaur or Brisbane get at it a little bit. They're the closest cruiser I can compare it to an extent. Or I also made the comparison that it's a Hirugamo on steroids, right? Because you have these 16 127 millimeter guns, you know, throughout the ship, right? 4 on the front, 4 on the stern. Okay, so to help with that poor armor of the turrets, I take the main armaments mod 1. This reduces the risk of your main battery becoming incapacitated by -20%. Improves your main battery survivability by +50%, and your main battery repair time is -20%. For the second slot, I do the engine boost modification 1. This increases your engine boost to almost being a duration of 4 minutes. So here you can see 2 and 34 seconds. It's just 6 seconds shy of being a full 4-minute engine boost duration. But this helps you so much with the propulsion, with the steering gears, which I'll talk about. So I really recommend running this one the most. Maybe the Hydro, but really you wanting to be fast, you want to close distances, you want to get behind islands, and the longer action time you have on an engine boost, in my opinion, really benefits you on Colbert. Third slot, we take aiming systems mod 1. This reduces our maximum main battery shell dispersion by -7%. And then, yeah, nothing else counts because you don't get any secondaries on this. It's just AA and main battery. So we want to be more accurate with landing our shots, right? So I wasn't recording this video, but I was in a match on, oh shoot, what is it called? Isle of Mountains? Mountain Islands? Shoot, it's like a chain of mountains in the center of the map, and you have some islands on the either far sides of the caps. Anyhow, with this build, particularly with the commander I'll show you, obliterated a Harugumo player. Like, he had reversed out behind the island, and I mean, within he was out for like 7-8 seconds before he could get back in behind the island, nuked him, dead. Okay, so I like that accuracy, particularly with when you have destroyer players that are trying to open gunboat you in Colbert. Ha ha ha. Okay, so basically what this is doing is you have tighter shell groupings with your maximum horizontal dispersion and your maximum vertical dispersion by, let's say, 4 to 8 meters tighter, both horizontally and vertically. Fourth slot is the propulsion modification 1. This reduces time taken to reach full engine power when accelerating by -50%. You need this because sometimes you might get caught off guard, surprised. Maybe there's a submarine comes up around the island. There's an incoming salvo from a battleship because you just got spotted and he has guns ready for you, right? So being able to juke, get out of harm's way is really important. And because you're not building into concealment, in the fifth slot, you take the steering gears mod 2. This reduces your rudder shift time by -40% and your steering gears repair time by -80%. Now, you may have noticed in the WoW's Wiki article, the pros and cons, they kind of hit on the fact that this isn't a very maneuverable tier 10 cruiser. However, when you utilize the steering gears mod 2, it actually helps quite a lot. Right, so now our rudder shift time is 5.5 seconds, and our turning circle radius is 620 meters, which is actually quite nice. Particularly, it was helpful with the island maneuvering. That island I was playing on Two Brothers on, I don't know, what is that, the 9-10 line? Or maybe it's, yeah, it should be the 9-10 line. So there, you can see there's some tight turns I had to make. Also, when I isolated the engagement one-on-one with Puerto Rico. This came in handy. I was able to make that turn and not get caught on the island broadside to a GK, as an example. Sixth slot, it's the main battery mod 3. This is an aggressive playstyle. This is your maximizing your DPM build. Okay, so our artillery is reloading every 3 seconds. Okay, that's before we talk about adrenaline rush, before we talk about top grade gunner. So it is possible to get this reload time down even further here on Colbert. Now, this does have a slight nerf to your main battery traverse speed, but one of the pros of this ship is you have very fast turret traverse speed. So 180-degree turn time is only 6.9 seconds. So yeah, that's the playstyle. Now, it's possible you can switch to the gunfire control system mod 2 if that main battery range is really bugging you and you want to go beyond 13.8 to, I think it's something around 15.8, 16, something like that. You can, but again, one of the things that's nice, I was showcasing yesterday's video, I was sitting behind an island shooting away, and because my range was only 13.8, the GK, who was beyond, like, I think he was like 15 kilometers away, he couldn't see me. So I was able to just farm this Puerto Rico and some other ships for free without fear of being punished from a battleship. So there's some benefits in not having your range super wide, especially at higher tier, so you don't get detected as easily from other ships that might be pushing up. I should also mention the modules, because normally I do that first. So you can see that 3-second reload time, the 6.9-second 180 return time. Our HE shell damage is buffed. It would be lower. We've increased it by plus 15% on the commander, so we'll talk about that. So that's why we're seeing 2,310. AP shell damage, 2,600. Your hull is 40,600. If you take the unique commander, Philippe Aubigné, something like that. I'm sorry, French speakers. He has an enhanced skill on the commander for the survivability. So you can actually put this over 41,000 hit points. So. Gunfire 13.8. With the Sierra Mike flag, we're going 34.7 knots. Without, it's 33 knots. And then your engine boost is a 20% engine boost. Okay. So if I do that math, 34.7 times 1.20. That's a 41.64 knot fast speed of ship. Okay, so really good. Armaments, so we have a 9% chances of starting fire on a target. That's even with, I don't know, it used to be called Demolition Expert, increases your fire chance. It's also with these 2 combat signals. So we're, with that DPM, you're setting a lot of fires, which is quite nice. You pin 21mm armor, that's good. And you can see initial velocity 808 meters a second. AP, definitely don't sleep on this AP. You saw those, we had a broadside Kearsarge, and we got a 7K salvo in, then we got a 6K salvo in, all within 6 seconds. Okay, in 6 seconds, I did 13,000 damage to a Kearsarge, just because he's broadside to me, and this ridiculous amount of DPM that this ship puts out, which is, I don't know if it's the top, but it's among the cruisers, ships in the game, among cruisers in the game that has the highest DPM. I don't know if that's changed, but Colbert used to sit on top, if I remember correctly. Your depth charge airstrike, it's great not having ship-based, but having the depth charge airstrike, it's 8-kilometer range, 2 flights, 1 attacking aircraft in a flight, and they each drop 2 bombs per payload. Okay, so basically 4 bombs is where you're going to be dropping off. Consumable-wise, 5-second action time on the damage control party. With a commander skill we reduced our cooldown time, or I'm sorry, not a commander skill. With November Foxtrot, we reduced it down from 60 to 57 seconds. Our repair party without India Delta is 267. With India Delta, 321. It is nice to have. Reload time, 80 seconds. We can bring that down to 76 seconds. And we built into our consumables, so we have 5 heals. It is possible to actually get dreadnoughts. The video yesterday I featured, I did get a dreadnought. And these heals are rather nice for such a light cruiser. I mean, it's not a super repair party, but it's still rather decent. You'll see that you'll heal back a decent portion of hit points on your ship. Engine boost, we've talked about it, almost a 4-minute action time with the engine boost mod 1. Reload time is actually just hitting 2 buffs. This is where commander skills kicking in, and then November Foxtrot. It means I'm getting this back in just over 1:20 seconds. So it's really good. I really like that because often I'm needing to have my engine boost almost going all the time. At least in my experience, I like having it because it helps with juking and engaging the enemy, and with my maneuverability and using the rudder and just kind of drifting, maybe avoiding some salvos. That's really nice. And then the commander skill and November Foxtrot are also going to affect our cooldown time here on our Hydro to 105 seconds. So that's going to be just over 1:45 seconds before our Hydro comes back off cooldown. We can detect torpedoes 3.5 kilometers away, detection of ships 5 kilometers away. Now, I don't recommend the defensive AA here on Colbert, because with this playstyle, and I mean between destroyers and particularly submarines, you really need the hydroacoustic search. That's really what makes most sense. Now, in terms of our signals, we have Juliet Charlie, definitely needed, completely eliminates the risk of your ship's magazine detonating. I guess the one thing I didn't do when I talked about the armor is actually show you the Citadel, which is long, right? It's not obscenely high, but you don't go broadside, even to like L being, they have 150 millimeter guns. A lot of things, even destroyers are going to Citadel you, particularly those German destroyers, the Elbing line, the Delny line, right? So you just have to be mindful that there are things that can Citadel you, so you need to be angling as much as possible and not be tempted to get all your guns off on the target at all times. Only when you're dark or concealed are you looking to do that. Then you have Hotel Yankee, damage caused by ramming an enemy, plus 50%, damage received when ramming an enemy, negative 20%. So nice to have in case you do need to utilize that. And then we've also extended our action time on our hydroacoustic search by plus 10%. So that's why you're seeing 110 seconds versus just 100 seconds without. Now, in terms of the commander, so I'm just gonna only go over the build up to the 21 points. I'm not gonna cover any other skills that I don't have mastered here. This is just featuring the aggressive upgrade commander build video of Colbert. So for the first skill, I recommend you take Last Stand. Your ship remains partially able to sustain speed and maneuverability with the engine and steering gears incapacitated. For a second point skill, or a 3-point commander, I would recommend the Demolition Expert. This increases your chance of causing fires on target by plus 8%. And there's a buff here too, with your ammunition explosion radius when attacking submarines, plus 15%. So that's actually quite nice, because with this playstyle, you're regularly running into submarines in World Warships. Let's say even more so on the weekends. So this is nice to have that, so you can fish, right? So that's what I was doing yesterday when I was a sub. I was taking some shots around. I'm like, okay, I know he's roughly here, and this was actually helping too. I don't think we actually landed any shells, but just the fact that you have a better explosion radius when attacking submarines, helpful. And then for a 6-point commander, probably what we're going to do is here, it can be up to you. I would say either take Superintendent first or take Adrenaline Rush first. I'll talk more about this commander and the other commander you can run here as well in just a moment. But let's say you have like a 10-point commander, okay? So then what I'd say, okay, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Take, as your 6-point, take the Adrenaline Rush. A standard commander with a non-enhanced skill, your main battery reload time all the way down to the continuous AA damage would be negative 0.20%. Here on Charles Henry Honro, it's negative 0.25%. So actually, as we lose health, we're having even faster reload time. And then paired with the top grade gunner, our 4-point skill, I got down to 2.6, 2.5 second reload time yesterday with 16 guns. So, whew, especially when you get to activate the top grade gunner, it's a lot. So I really like, in particular, having this commander here on the ship. So let's say for 6-point commander you did that, and then let's say 9-point commander, you go ahead and you just pick up Superintendent. So now you have 4 engine boost, 5 repair parties, 4 hydro acoustic search. After the 9-point, then I would say you can come back to for 10-point. Go ahead and pick up Incoming Fire Alert. You do need this. Okay, the idea of this build is we've taken the Incoming Fire Alert and the Consumable Specialist versus taking Party Target. This lets you know when someone has fired at you at a distance of greater, more than 4.5 kilometers. So I would say take this as your 10-point. And then as a 13-point build, then I would say then do the Survivability Expert. And then, let's see, I'll make sure I get my points here right. Yeah, 13, take Survivability Expert. And then for your 17-point build, take Top Grade Gunner. This has a permanent effect where your secondary battery reload time is reduced, but doesn't apply to Colbert. You don't have secondaries here. But increases your main battery reload speed while an enemy ship is within your ship's standard tech ability range, right? So that's our 12.1 kilometer. So like the end of the video, when I get within 12.1 kilometers of Thunder, as I'm approaching him, he's approaching me, then you see Top Grade Gunner takes an effect, right? Reloads even faster by negative 8%. So that's 17-point, and then a 20-point commander, take the heavy HE and sap shells. Your main battery HE shell damage plus 10%. If you had sap, it also buffed that by plus 10%. And you don't lose anything on your ship detectability within main battery caliber of 149 millimeter and above, because you have only 127 millimeter and above, 127 millimeter guns. So you don't take the concealment nerf there, which is nice and good to have, at least in that regard. Depending on how you look at it, maybe you're greedy and you're like, oh, I wish it was lower, so then you'd have an even greater standard detectability range to activate your top grade gunner. And then for 21-point build, that's when I would say then take the Consumable Specialist. This is only going to affect your Hydro Acoustic Search and your engine boost. Now, unless you switched off your Hydro with your defensive AA. But here, Hydro and engine boost consumable and preparation reload time by negative 7.5%. Okay. Now you can go any direction you want to end up to this 21-point build. That's just the way I would recommend. I already had Charles Henry Unrow as a 21-point commander because I was running him on Bourgogne in Marseille, something like that. So then I just redistributed the skills. Okay, so Charles Henry Unrow with the commanders. Let's go into Armory. Let's hope that the Armory is working today. The first day I log in, each day when I log in the first time, it doesn't give me full access to the Armory. So as soon as I log in, I have to log out, and then I have to come back into the game a second time because like it's not showing me my wallet and things like that. So the commander I have now, because the Armory screwed up, it's not showing. We go here. Yeah, so it says I don't even own him when I do. Okay, 1,500 doubloons, grease the gears, and the adrenaline rush. So if you're wanting to run him, he's really good. I like the fact that he's a little bit more aggressive because as I lose health, I'm getting a faster reload time on my main battery. He does have a twin, from my understanding, but I don't see him. That twin should be available, I thought, for Cole, but I'm not seeing him unless I'm blind. Okay, now I have all these commanders except these two. Philippe Auburnet. He's a unique commander, and he comes with 10 skill points if you're willing to spend 175,000 coal. I really am running to pick him up. I have enough coal now to actually do it, but he has a elemental fury, can be activated multiple times per battle, and not available in clan and training battles. Activates upon capturing a key area or assisting in capturing one. Your chances of flooding plus 10%, chances of causing a fire on a target plus 1%. So then you can buff, I have a 10% fire chance, okay? Surge forward, this can be activated multiple times per battle as well. And it activates after every 2 million HP of potential damage. Your ship speed goes up by plus 8%. Okay, so earlier I stated we were 41.64 knots. If I also added this in, we would go up to almost 45 knots. It's just right underneath, right? And then if you activated it again, let's say you get lucky with 4 million potential damage, so you'd be going 48 knots. Okay, so there's this hysterical video with John the Ruthless playing Conde that Jingles featured, where in the Conde, he got 8 million potential damage. And he's going like obscenely fast, and it's awesome and hysterical, and Jingles gives a wonderful story. I recommend you checking that out. John the Ruthless Conde build, and the story is about a bear and a hunter. Then you have Rampant, can be activated multiple times per battle. Activates upon earning the Death Strike achievement. Your main battery reload time, -5%. Torpedo tube reload time, -5%. Aircraft preparation time, -5%. Now, it'd be a little difficult to get that with Colbert. Probably what you're looking at is a detonation to get the Death Strike, right? So maybe it's Death Striking a destroyer. You've armed the shells in his citadel, or the magazine compartment of the ship, right? Detonates the ship. Because you can't detonate submarines, because that's not historically accurate, all right, Wargaming? So yeah, probably the only way you're going to get this with Colbert is if you detonate a destroyer. Maybe a cruiser if you're lucky, but mileage may vary. And here you can see the enhanced skills for aircraft or for the survivability expert. Your cruiser increase goes by plus 500 versus, I can't remember if it was 400 or 450. We can look at it one more time. And then personalization, so you can take this commander as well. Plus 450, right? So you're getting 500 more hit points. And that makes you 41,100. Yeah, so. All right, with that said and done, okay, I did it in 25 minutes, not the dream of 15 minutes. But yeah, I like this build. Again, it's a very aggressive playstyle. You need good map awareness, you need good situational awareness, you need good positioning, and there was something else I've talked about too that's helpful. But the ship, all in all, is really fun, and I've just enjoyed having this more aggressive playstyle with Colbert versus trying to do something more traditional standard. So, if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you are subscribed, thanks so much. I appreciate it, and we'll get you next time. Take care.